personal involvement in LMCA, I can tell you that that institution and ministry is just bearing abundant fruit. I see it in many aspects in my life, and because of that, I know that when I invest in LMCA, when I give to LMCA both in time and in money, that that investment is going to bear fruit. As a grandparent that has now seen his first grandson go to LMCA, I just can't tell you how excited I am for him. He loves the program. He is in K4 at this point, and he can't wait to get to school and wants to go to school all day. And I know that putting a grandchild in LMCA's hands is going to pay abundant fruit. I know that they will pour into him. They will make sure that he has a worldview that puts God first, and they will just fill him with love. And I'm excited about that, and I just can't wait to see the end of the story.
to make disciples of Christ if we don't see the need for that after such a horrendous event. We're never going to see the need for that. Would you agree with me? Is there an amen out there anywhere? This school is a beacon of light. If it does not exist, the darkness wins. This isn't about money. This is about disciples of Christ. Imagine, if you will, for one moment, that this institution, which has been around for many years, did not exist for those many years. What would be the loss to this community? You know, one of my favorite movies is It's a Wonderful Life. This school has touched so many lives, has created deputy attorney generals, has had an impact on the world for God's kingdom. We're here tonight for that purpose. We're here tonight because this institution needs to exist. In fact, I would suggest to you that it needs to thrive. It's not about money, it's about what money can do in this place and how it can build God's kingdom. So that's why we're here tonight. So I'm going to move to my first slide. And I'm going to talk to you about something that people talk to you about all the time, and that's the biblical perspective of fundraising. Nobody ever talks to you about that because we don't think there is a biblical perspective to fundraising. Asking for money is not something we tend to see as biblical. But I'm going to tell you again tonight, we're not here to primarily talk about money. It's not about money. It's about time, talent, treasure, testimony. The most valuable of which is testimony. We want your story told. We want you individually to be willing to tell your story about Lake Mead Christian Ministries, what it means to you, why it's important, why it's a worthy cause, and it is. By the way, I have a dangerous profession. Every now and then I fall in love with a client, not specific people. The school itself, I have fallen in love with LMCA. You are an amazing discipleship school. You don't know how special you are. This place needs to exist, correct? You believe it needs to exist? I think it needs to thrive. I think God wants it to thrive. I think He has so many unbelievable plans for this place, not for the glory of this place, but for His glory. But you know, there is a biblical perspective to fundraising. I do not want to turn you into fundraisers. I'm not here to try to turn you into the typical fundraiser. You know what I want you to do for me? What I want you to do for this school? What I want you to do for the cause of Christ? I want you to be a storyteller. I want you to share your testimony. And I'm going to give you the biblical perspective of fundraising. Fundraising is not about, hear me, lean in and listen. Fundraising is not about persuasion. Fundraising is not about twisting arms. Fundraising is not about manipulation. Not the biblical perspective of fundraising. Where do I get that? Well, the Lord said to Moses in Exodus 25, 1 through 2, "Tell the Israelites to bring me an offering. You are to receive the offering for me from each man." And I stopped there because I'm a type A personality, and I'm thinking, you know, it's Moses and it's God. Those are pretty powerful folks. They could probably have told the Israelites to do what I would have told them to do. Get your wallets out and give me the money that I need. That's not what God said. You know what God said? This is what teaches us about biblical fundraising. He said, whose heart prompts him to give. Story of David building the temple. He got all of his officials in the room, and he said, we have taken all of the treasures of Israel, bronze and gold and wood, for the building of the temple. I have given of all my own personal wealth. So he's showing that he's leading by example. And because he was the king, and I'm sure in that room there were guards with swords. If it had been me, I'd have said, get your wallets out. You must do this. Instead, David said, those who are willing to consecrate themselves to the Lord today, do so. Willingness. We're just simply supposed to share the story and allow God to work. Isn't that the way he does everything? Next slide, please. So what is Feed the Need? It's a mission-aligned event designed to help others while raising funds for LMCA. You know, we could sell chocolate bars. I always forget whether it's candy bars or chocolate bars. I used to live in Canada, so I might be speaking Canadian to you, but it means candy bars or chocolate bars. We could sell candy. We could sell poinsettias, we could sell cookie dough, and the only one that would benefit would be us and the makers of those items. Instead, we have an opportunity to combine two incredibly worthy causes. One called Lake Mead Christian Ministries. The other, needy kids in Haiti who may not have meals on a weekly basis at times. So we get to teach our kids to serve, which is what this school is all about, discipleship, and we get to raise money for the school. So Sue mentioned that the use of funds, we're going to purchase, pack, and ship 10,000 meals to needy kids in Haiti. By the way, we use a company by the name of Feed the Hunger, and pastors pick up the food at the port in Haiti, and they take the food directly to particular schools that they work with. So there's an amazing double benefit. First of all, we make sure that the food gets there because the process can be corrupt if we go through the government. Second, though, we get a connection with the families, with the local church. So we meet their physical need, and now we have an opportunity to potentially meet their spiritual need. Sue already told you that we're going to be providing counseling. We are providing counseling to those affected by this terrible tragedy that just took place. And we need to fund that. I was thinking about that the other day. I have a pastor who always says, when we talk about money, people get funny. But he did say one thing. He said, but you know, when it comes to the church, and I would say it's the same thing for the school, when there's a marriage problem, when there's a tragedy, when there are issues, we call the church. What if it wasn't there? What if it wasn't there to provide all of the services that a church provides? We don't think about it that way. They're not services. Unfortunately, the way we fund these things is money. So that's why it's of need. We want to build a larger, updated South Campus playground. We want to improve the North Campus track. But most importantly, we want to strengthen LMCA. Not for the purpose of strengthening it financially for that end, but as we've already said, so that it can disciple students and be the beacon on the hill that your graduate, Simba, talked about. Fundraising strategy, next slide, please. What does it look like? We're going to ask you to share your story. We're going to ask you to pray, to set a goal personally or as a family. We're going to ask you to lead by example because you can't ask others to give if you are unwilling to give. We're going to ask you to share the opportunity or the story with 30 to 40 members of your family or friends through text messages, and I'm going to describe that in a minute. You're going to direct them to a web page that's going to tell them about the school and about Feed the Need and what we're doing here. And then we're going to ask you to follow up, and then we're going to ask you to discover what God does. We're going to ask you to step out in faith. And I'm going to pray, and I've been praying, that there'll be 100% participation, even though it's uncomfortable, because that's when we see God. When we step, I just said this to someone the other day, you know, in my life, when I think God is asking me to do something I can't do, that's beyond my own ability, I get uncomfortable. I like to do things that I know that I can do, but that's not when I experience God, because I do it under my own power. I experience God when I do things I don't think I can do. Just as Peter did when he stepped out of the boat and walked on the water, even though it was only for a couple of steps. That's when we see him. Next slide, please. Some people say, but I don't know 40 people. Can I be direct? That'll shock you already. You probably already can tell my personality. You do. You know 40 people. Joe Girard says you know 250 people at least. 250 people care whether or not you live or die. How do we know that? That's the average number of people that go to a funeral. You know more than 40 people. Look in your Microsoft Outlook contacts list. There's 40 people in there. Friends, relatives, through activities and acquaintance, neighbors and kids. You know 40 people. Next slide, please. But why do we feel uncomfortable? Because we feel that we're supposed to persuade. We feel that we're trying to twist arms. I don't want you to do that. I just want you to share the story. Most will give if just asked. What does the Bible tell us? It's a book of action. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door will be open. Ask, and you will be given. It doesn't say sleep, lay down. That's what I tell my son. It says move, take action. That's what God asks us to do. Invite people to participate in the joy of discovery. What do I mean by that? You will be shocked at who responds. I used to work in corporate America, taking companies public, private equity firms I worked with, very, very strong atheist private equity partner of mine was the first to give when I sent a text message. He provided $500 to our effort. I have no idea why, but it gave me an opportunity to share with him what I was doing. I was running a Christian school. That was shocking to him. Who's God already chosen to participate because he has already chosen? If you choose to participate, you will go through your list and you'll say, oh, I can't send to this person. They wouldn't be interested in this. Please don't do that. Don't make the decision for them, because you will not participate in God's joy of discovery. Give them an opportunity. Does your Bible say this? Because mine does. Mine says that it's better to give than to receive. Blessed are those who give. So do you know really we're robbing people of blessings when we don't give them an opportunity to participate? That might sound like a really good marketing spin, but that's the truth. So let's give them an opportunity to participate. Don't make the decision for them. Share the story. Why text messages? Next slide. I have no idea. I'm 55 years old, but I'm told that they're more personal than email. I have no idea, but they're more effective. That's why, at the end of the day. They're more effective than email and other ways. Next slide, please. We're going to ask you to remind people after you send your text message. Why? Because we want to persuade them, right? We want to twist their arms, manipulate them. No, because we're busy. We're busy. So we're going to ask you to remind folks. We send out a text message. We ask them to look at a link. We send a quick reminder saying, hey, Uncle John, did you have a chance to look at that link? And then we're going to ask you on the next slide to celebrate with us on November 17th, where we're going to get our kids and many of you together to pack those 10,000 meals. And believe it or not, we'll do it in 4 hours in an assembly line fashion, and we'll ship the meals to Haiti. What do we need to do to get started? Well, first of all, I want you to become a fundraiser, a storyteller. I'm going to ask you to create a personal page tonight. I'm going to ask you to donate, to follow up or remind, and to watch what God does, watch what the program does and how it grows. And then we're going to pack those 10,000 meals, and we're going to go and show you what it looks like to sign up on the site that we've set up for you. Hopefully we have that ready to run. This is what the site looks like. And you see that number that's moving on the right-hand corner there, the $29,448.15? We've been a little busy before we got you all together. There's just been not a huge group of people, but a group of people who've actually been sending text messages. That's how much money LMCA has raised already. And the reason we do that is we want you to have an opportunity to talk to folks who've actually done this, and nobody actually shot at them, and nobody got mad at them, and nobody said anything bad to them. But that's what this program's all about. So let me walk you through what this is going to look like for you. I'm going to ask you to do something for me. If you could be so brave, take your phones out. Would you take your phone out for me? Come on, everybody's got, the average American is within 90 feet of their phone 90% of the time. So I know you've got your phones. Take your cell phones out. And I'm going to ask you to send a text message. You're not doing anything that commits you. It's not a contract. I promise you that. But I'm going to ask you to send a text message. So if we go to the next slide, I'm going to ask you to text LMCA. And this is how you do it, because some people go, well, I don't get it. How do I text 7177? And how do I text LMCA to that recipient? Well, in the to, I don't know if you can read that, but in the to area, or the recipient area up on the left-hand corner at the top, that's where you enter 7177. And don't worry about putting that little dash in there. It'll do it itself. Has everybody done that? You're all going to do that because we've locked the doors. I'm just kidding. I have your addresses. I'll be over tonight. Just kidding, sort of. 7177, and then you're going to put in the message line LMCA. So can you put that in the message line and hit send? Has anybody done that? Okay, good. Then what you should get back on the right side is you should receive a link back. And you should click on that link. You may have to click twice depending on your phone. Press on that link. That's the contract. No, I'm just kidding. No contract, no contract. Toby put the contracts together for me. I'm just kidding, no contract. If you just hit that link, okay, then it's going to take you to this next page. This next page is where, see that red circle? You're going to press on Become a Fundraiser. So press on Become a Fundraiser. Has anybody gone that far yet? Can't see. Somebody brave? Yes, we've got somebody that's gone that far. Awesome. We've got several others. So press on Become a Fundraiser. And then the next page, you're going to fill out information. It's going to ask you for your name. It's going to ask you for your email address, etc. And then you're going to press, when you're done filling that information out, you're going to press on Become a Fundraiser again at the end, or it's right at the end of that information. Then you have an opportunity to personalize your page. You have an opportunity to put a picture on it. And in the right-hand side, it's still the back, if you back up one slide. Still on the right-hand side, it says, personalize my page. You can put a picture of yourself. You can put a picture of your family. When I did this, I found the picture of the biggest bodybuilder I could find. I put my head on it. It was awesome. It's what I wanted to look like when I grew up. I've decided I'm not going to grow up, so that's not going to happen. So then you can upload photos. You can update your goal if you go to the next one. When we say update your goal, Kelly, I thought you said it wasn't about raising money. Why would we have a goal? Because there's something about having a goal. If you set a goal for $1,500, let's say, and you keep looking at your goal and you realize, because there's a little thermometer type device, and you keep seeing zeros all the time, you're probably not sending any text messages. Just a guess. So that's a reminder that we still need to share the story. It's not about the money, but we need to share the story. So that's what the updating of your text, or of your goal, looks like. So that's the next step. If you want to make changes, if you look to the next, if you want to make changes, you're going to receive an email, because you put your email into that information, that's going to give you the actual link that's personalized for you, where you will have a personalized page. So that link is something that you want to make sure you do not forget. And if you move to the next slide, please. You want to take that code that's in the bottom right-hand side and tell your friends that is your particular LMCA 23 was this individual's particular link. So you can send that link to your friends just by cutting and pasting it or putting it into your text and say, hey, can I send you some information about an event that we're doing at LMCA? I'm really excited about it. Just want you to take a look at some information. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of what the text message looks like or should sound like. Literally, when I did this, I just simply sent a text message that said, can I send you a link about a really cool event that we're having at our school? And I'd say to my brother, and he doesn't like me, so he said no, so I had to move on to somebody else. Just kidding, he loves me. He said, sure. And then I sent him that link and said, check out this link, it'll tell you all about it. You can either put that link directly into a text or on your individual page. If you go back to that particular slide, please. There is a share button up in the right-hand corner. If you hit the button share on your page, you're going to get one of three options to use. Actually, it should be four. You can either send a Facebook message, the private message, a Twitter message, an email, or you can send a text message. And it will automatically embed that link into your message. Simple enough? Last slide. You're going to want to save your link, your page. You can save it by adding it to your bookmark on the bottom or saving it on your home screen. You can also always go back to your email that you received so that you know what your link is. There is going to be a Genius bar. It is around here somewhere. I can't tell exactly where it is. Where would that be, BJ? What's that? Where you registered is where the Genius bar is. If you have any issues at all or any questions, we have teenagers that know so much more. I'm just kidding. They probably do. We haven't even told them what they're doing. They're going to figure it out in 5 seconds. But we have kids out there probably, or younger than me, that are going to help you with any issues or questions or problems that you have. So I know that I've turned fundraising into the most amazing experience in your life. You are now all extremely excited But to be really serious one last time, and then I'll stop talking. You have an amazing school here, not just because it helps your kids develop into unbelievably intelligent students through high academics, but because, as Simba said, this is where they learn that there is a God that loves them unconditionally. And you know what? That man that committed those heinous, evil acts, I can't help but think that if he'd have known that, we'd be talking about something different. Amen? Thank you so much. I now have the privilege of introducing somebody who's become a really good friend of mine. He wanted me to wear white pants tonight, by the way. I told him I didn't have any, and he was shocked. I guess he has like 5 or 6 pair. I don't get that. It must be a Las Vegas thing. But his name is BJ. Love him dearly. He's got lots to share with you tonight. Blessings.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I have someone really, really special that doesn't get the spotlight very much, and none of this would have happened if it wasn't for my awesome assistant, Suzanne. She's been working her tail off on this since June. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the last drawing, too. Should I do that? I know it's probably not against the rules. Is that against the rules? Sorry, Marco. I'm taking your fun, bud. All right. 0366. I'm sorry, wrong. 03366. This is harder than it sounds. 96. You get a $50 gift card to Topgolf. If you don't want it, I'll take it. I got her mani-pedi to her favorite little store, Nail Love. I don't know, a little plug there. Thank you guys for coming out. I want to tell you, and I'll be quick because I can't wait to get to what these kids have been working on. They are awesome, and that's what we're all here for, right? I mean, the school is amazing, and what these little guys did and put it together is just great. So I'll be quick. I have been texting selectively for the last 5 weeks, and it has been really, really eye-opening and fun. People that you think you're going to give, ignore you. People that you don't think are going to give. People that you think are going to give a little, give a lot. People that you think are going to give a lot, give a little. So try it. It is fun. It really is. And then you catch yourself checking it more than you check your Facebook. I'm going to go through the last couple things because if you're like me, you don't really need a whole lot to motivate you, but we have some things that motivate you and the kids in the classroom. So first slide. That's the other thing, guys. Our staff, leadership, and board, nearly 100% have already financially participated. That's awesome. That $29,000 was teachers and board members donating themselves and texting this story around to other people. We have a matching donor. This is really exciting, guys. We have a matching donation of several different donors put their money together and said, let's see what we can do in the first week. Let's see what we can do. In 5 days, on October 18th, we have a $30,000 matching. So every dollar you give is like giving 2. So we'll be at $90,000 by Wednesday if we hit that $30,000 goal. Isn't that crazy? And it's easy. It's easy. $90,000. Also, for everyone who registers between now and Wednesday as a fundraiser, so we already know the number of fundraisers based on the site. So based on from today to Wednesday, if you've registered and made a donation, you are going to be entered into a drawing to win a free iPad. And we will announce that winner through a reverse text that the system does. It's a really awesome system. Also, on Saturday, the 21st, we will have our report done for the first week of giving. The person who's given the most money in that time or has fundraised the most in that time will win a helicopter tour. I did this with my wife. It is awesome. You fly to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and you eat lunch, and you walk around, and then you fly back. It is amazing. It is beautiful. And I don't know anybody who wouldn't like that. So next slide. There we go. Okay, so I'm not going to go through this. You're going to have this written down in paper. You're going to get a packet on Monday from your kids. But it talks about the different incentives that we have for individual fundraising, family fundraising. Next slide, please. And then let's watch these kids, okay? We have teacher incentives for participation. So help your teacher out. They get a shopping spree to fill up their class with goodies. The classroom incentives, they get parties and weekly contests for the individual fundraisers. And families. So anyway, that's all I have to say. I love you guys. Thank you so much. This school is amazing. Go out there and get it.
All right. Good so far? Yes? Pretty cool system, pretty easy to do. You want to see some kids perform? All right. I want to introduce you to Cindy Capacey.
Testing. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. We are so excited for the upcoming performances, and we're not gonna wait a minute longer. The first group up is taught by Mrs. Kelly McGee, and it is an applied music studies class, and they will be playing the ukuleles for you tonight. So at this time, would you please come forward, students? Let's give them a round of applause. They will be playing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Thank you, Mrs. McGee and students. That was a lovely job. At this time, our 4th through 6th grade choir is coming up. We're going to do 2 selections for you tonight. Our first song is called God Made Me, and our second selection is Polly Wolly Doodle by Brad Prince. Thank you, elementary choir. That was wonderful. At this time, we are going to have our middle school choir come. I think they're back there. Wave at me, middle school choir. All right, you may go ahead and come at this time, and they're going to be singing a couple songs for you. I'm going to let the students introduce them. Again, thank you so much for coming and just being here. This means the world to these children, and they are just amazing kids. I've loved working with them. All of us here on staff, we love the students, and it's just our honor and privilege to get to work with them. All right, middle school choir, are you ready? Here we go.
Our first selection is Candlelight Cannon by Andy Beck.
After LMCA, I went to Biola and Talbot.
last selection is entitled The Poet Sings, written by Randall Stroop.
After LMCA, I went to Biola and Talbot to study theology, and then I did my PhD at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. Currently, I'm assistant professor of New Testament at Bethel Seminary in St. Paul, Minnesota. I think not only of the ways in which the staff and faculty at LMCA invested in my lives in the classroom, but also outside of the classroom, and not just back then, back when I was a student, but even on up and through today.
Just graduated, and I am currently living in beautiful Rockville, Maryland. I'm doing an internship here with a company called Bethesda. In my opinion, LMCA is just, what makes it great is just the small community. the way that you can get so involved so easily, and the way that there's always teachers and other students that are so close and so in tune with like the Christian aspects of their lives. Teachers that aren't just there to teach you, they're there to help you be a better person and to be really big influences in your life.
We chose LMCA because we wanted a safe place for him and a place where the teachers cared. I volunteered one morning in the 5th grade, and I witnessed a teacher noticing a student having a rough morning. She stopped, asked him what was going on, and they prayed for him as a class. You don't get that anywhere else.
I currently work in Kansas City, Missouri as a certified child life specialist. My daily job is preparing patients for what they're going to experience while they're in the hospital, and empowering them to create coping tools that will benefit them in the long term. I specifically work with patients who are currently receiving dialysis and awaiting a kidney transplant. I strongly believe that LMCA fostered an environment of love and hard work, both of which I've continued to carry out in my personal and professional life. They also not only talked about the value of a relationship with Christ, but the teachers truly embodied that.
Just take one. And be the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Don't Hate class of 2008, and I'm currently a Deputy Attorney General for the state of Nevada. Prior to that, I was a prosecutor up in Douglas County, Nevada. And what does LMCA mean to me? So I spent a lot of my adolescence there. It's where I gained lifelong friendships. It's the place where, I learned from great educators. But most importantly, it's the place where I learned that there's a God who loves me unconditionally and who wants me to be the best version of me possible.
I just like knowing that I was in a safe place where I can trust a bunch of people and knowing that I have people that love me.
There are many things that I love about LMCA, but I think the one thing that sets us apart from other schools is our community and the feeling of family that we have at the LMCA. I've built lifelong relationships and friendships not only with my coworkers, but with my students and the families of my students.
Things I've seen here, the people's lives who have changed for the better, it's just blown my mind. I think we have a great opportunity to make new friends here. There's a great community here at this school.
The past couple of weeks have been a tough time for the Las Vegas Valley, and what I drew comfort in knowing that there are institutions like LMCA out there who are a beacon of light in what seems like humanity's darkest hours.
I was encouraged to be involved at every level, all the way through 12th grade. I was encouraged to be there to see what the school was doing, to see what my kids were doing.
Something that I love about LMCA is that I have friends that I never would have imagined having anywhere else. I can comfortably practice my faith alongside my friends, and the teachers genuinely want to help me progress my relationship with God, and I do every single day.
I love the fact that I've had help raising my own kids. I have 2 boys that are off at college and they're doing great due to the dedication of the men and women at LMCA. I have a 7th grader who's making wise choices and has godly women as examples, and I appreciate them. I appreciate the love that they give to my own kids.
And when I think about LMCA, I think one word primarily comes to mind, and that's family.
Thank you, LMCA, for instilling core values that I continue to carry with me today.
I've taken the tools that I learned at LMCA, and they've been with me throughout my career, in my relationships, and how I treat others, and how I do my best to give back to the community. I owe a lot to LMCA, and I'm so thankful for LMCA being in my life.
I was and still am so thankful my kids were able to attend Lake Mead Christian Academy.
So yeah, LMCA truthfully got me to where I am today. It put me on this path, and I'm incredibly grateful.
I love LMCA. It's my family. It's my home.
You have an opportunity no matter where you are from or no matter who you are. You have an opportunity to know, love, and serve God.
We have to find our heart songs all by ourselves. It's the voice you hear inside. Who you truly are. You truly are.
Hear me, man. Raise your voices, brothers. Give praise to the great one who put songs in our hearts.
Hey, you might make a different sound. Oh, yes, that's right, it's true. That don't make anybody more or less as good as you. If you can feel the music, that's all you really need to turn this party all the way out. Good time guaranteed. Everybody get up, clap your hands, dancing to the beat. Whatever you do, little darling, it's cool. Just get up out your seat and wave your flag, 'cause everybody plays a part. One world united, singing the song of the heart. Song of the heart. The heart. Song of the heart. Look, everybody makes mistakes, so yeah, not one or two. But that don't make the dirty little things they say about you true. You tell them, step aside, little babies, and watch me do my thing. I don't even need a good reason to do this. Listen to me sing. Everybody get up, clap your hands, show them what you got. Tonight we're gonna jam from now to eternity. Don't you stop, make it hot. Wave your flag, 'cause everybody plays a part. One world united, singing this song of the heart. Oh, song of the heart, song of the heart. Come on. Watch me now. Oh, I don't care what the people say, 'cause this is my life. This is my life. I just gotta like that, okay. They can go fly the mama's kite. Hooray.
Together if we all do our part. I'll let you if you let me sing the song of the heart. We can be together if we all do our part. I'll let you if you let me sing the song.
All right, I'll tell y'all one more time. Listen.
One world, one world united. Singing a song, singing a song, singing a song of the heart.
Song of the heart, song of the heart. Song of the heart, song of the heart. Song of the heart, sing of the song, sing of the song, sing of the song, sing of the song. Song of the heart, feel me?
the left, to the right. I'm getting it. Oh.
All right. That's a time to dance. Nice job. Can we give it up for them one more time? I am Marco from Marco in the Morning on Sunny 106.5. I want to say thank you for being here tonight, and want to give you some reminders before you leave. And I want to make sure I get this right, so I'm going to read this word for word. It says right here, to make sure that on Monday morning to listen to Marco in the Morning on Sunny 106.5 on your way to school and to work, and to do so every other day for the rest of your life. That's good. And also, don't forget to stop by the Genius Bar, which is right outside, to help set up that personal page that we talked about. And you'll want to grab your football game tickets because we're going to cheer on the Eagles later, right? Dinner tickets are out there on your way out as well if you haven't gotten them. And let's see. Oh, don't forget to pick up your kids. And then take them out to the field for the bounce house, which is out there, the popcorn, the cotton candy, and there's a whole bunch more. So I'll talk to you Monday morning, right? Thank you very much for being here.
the stars, and you are all that I want. You're all that I need. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. I'm dancing on the moon with you. My head is in the stars, and you are. Oh, you're all that I see. You have stolen my mind. I think about you all the time. The way you love is divine. Oh, you gave it all, so I could have the fullness of life. Hey, I'm dancing on the moon with you. My head is in the stars, and you are all that I want. You're all that I need. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. I'm dancing on the moon with you. My head is in the stars, and you are. Oh, you're all that I see. Easily become my everything. Easily become my everything.
When the storm clouds rise and the sky's dark and oppressed with anxious care, I'm a safe retreat in the strong high tower, for no ill can harm me there. I hide in your safe retreat, hide in your safe retreat. When the storm clouds fly till they pass me by, I will hide in your safe retreat. When the lightnings flash and the thunders roll and the storms in fury beat, when they seem so sure to engulf my soul, then I hide in your safe retreat. Soon the storms will pass and the sky will clear, and my rest be calm and sweet. I will trust and wait with no anxious fear, for I hide in your safe retreat. I hide in your safe retreat. Hide in your safe retreat. When the storm clouds fly till they pass me by, I hide in your safe retreat.
Where have I been when it seems like I'm hiding under a rock? I'm hiding under my rock. I seek, then I hide. I'm too weak to speak in the stillness of prayer. There's no secrets, God already knows my longing, my yearning, my groaning, my burning, my scars and my hurting. It's no surprise to him, it's watchful I see it. I'm only fooling myself when I conceal it. Apart from grace, I would never seek your sovereign face. Next to you, the only place to keep my heart chased. Otherwise, I chase idols to my disgrace and waste time trying to fix what I can only break. It's when I'm broken that I'm standing open-handed, reaching out to my Father, knowing you understand me. In your arms, I can safely rest. You're the God who gives life from death.
No, no, extraordinary.